Ah, the joy of home theater. We can now have a better movie experience in the comfort of our own homes than going out to a movie theater. No spotty teenagers kicking the back of our seat every few minutes, no paying $6 for a Coke, no one shushing us when we have to cough, and of course the ultimate benefit, our feet won't stick to the floor. But there are some potential mistakes with having a home theater. Mistakes that can frustrate and spoil your enjoyment. What are these mistakes? Well, here's our countdown of the top 10 most common mistakes home theater owners make and how to avoid them. At number 10 is not soundproofing the room. There are two reasons why this is a big mistake. First, you want to keep on good terms with your neighbors. If they can hear your sound system, you'll be hearing from them. And nothing's more annoying than having a shiny new receiver but not being able to turn the dial past 1 because the neighbors start banging on your wall as a not-so-subtle request for you to turn it down. The second reason to soundproof your room is for sound quality. The room needs to be reasonably dead in order for you to benefit from a cinema-style experience. At number 9, the next mistake is not optimizing components with a test disc. Most TVs and projectors have factory settings that are optimized for a big Boxmart style showroom, not a home theater. If you take the time to tweak the picture, you'll be amazed at how much better it'll look. Discs such as Digital Video Essentials and the Avia Guide to Home Theater are both good products that make the process a breeze. The audio components should also be tweaked. Even an experienced installer can sometimes mix their cables up and get speakers out of phase. Another common audio error is not balancing the speaker levels. The rear speakers are often too loud, and the center channel is also commonly out of balance with the other channels. An audio test disc will easily enable you to spot problems like these. At number 8, the next common mistake is not having a universal all-in-one control. A new home theater setup always brings a host of new remote controls, which quite frankly are a pain. Fumbling around in the dark is best kept for the bedroom, not the home theater. All-in-one remotes range from some budget models that sometimes ship with equipment up to high-end, completely customizable control systems, which are more complex than the computers used in the 1969 fake moon landings. At number 7, bigger is not always better. The mistake is not realizing that resolution is far more important than screen size. This is a really sneaky trick by manufacturers. They'll focus on the physical size of the screen rather than the resolution, and there's a big difference. For example, a 50-inch rear projection screen could have the resolution of 704 by 480 pixels, or it could boast 1920 by 1080. The difference is chalk and cheese. 704 by 480 is standard definition, and it'll look soft and grainy, whereas 1920 by 1080 represents outstanding high-definition quality, and it'll be like looking through a window. Always check the resolution. That's what counts. Another big mistake is having a screen that's too large or small for the room. Too small and you'll be struggling to see any detail at a distance. And too large, you'll be craning your neck from side to side as if you were watching a tennis match. Either way, you'll be wishing your screen was a sensible size. Ultimately, this is a matter of personal preference, but don't automatically opt for the largest screen you can fit on the wall, as that probably won't be the best choice. At number 5, the mistake is waiting for the Blu-ray HD DVD war to be resolved before buying a new player. Do you really think it's going to be resolved soon? Think again. Most manufacturers are digging their heels in like spoiled children, not wanting any other kid to get a look in. Buy a player now. Rent the movie so you don't have to buy them, and enjoy the experience. In a few years' time, when things have settled down, you'll be in the market for a new player by then anyway. Come on, get over it. The next big mistake is not allowing for future expansion when choosing a receiver. Of all the components in a system, it's the receiver that's likely to change the most from year to year. If you choose a model with just enough inputs, you can be sure that 3 months down the road you won't be able to connect the new must-have gadget that you just bought. It happens all the time. People forget about the Xbox, the iPod, the video camera, the laser disc player from the attic, well, you get the point. And even if you don't have HDMI components now, you will be buying components with it down the road. It's impossible to completely future-proof a receiver, but at least recognize the issue and get the best you can afford, and allow for some expansion. Number 3, putting all the emphasis on the TV and neglecting the audio, or vice versa. Many home theater newbies are fixated on the picture or the audio quality, and rarely both. Either way, it's a mistake. If you invest in a huge screen and have $7 left for the audio system, guess what it's going to sound like? And by the same token, if you go all out on a spectacular studio quality sound system that could win awards, but then realize you can only hook it up to a black and white portable TV, you're going to be very disappointed at your home theater experience. The second biggest mistake is buying by price rather than by what you really want. Don't be tempted by a cheap price just because it's a cheap price. Although it's possible to find genuine bargains sometimes, if you only buy cheaply, you'll almost certainly regret it in the long run, because it won't be what you really wanted or need. And the number one biggest mistake home theater owners make is believing that a $300 cable is significantly better than a $30 cable. Let's get something straight. Most big box electronics stores make their profits on high-priced cables that cost less than $1 or $2 to manufacture. The profit margins are extraordinary. Of course they want you to believe that an expensive cable is going to sound like the orchestra's playing in the room. Ultimately, if you were to buy overpriced cables, the cables will be better than the cables they used in the studio to record the soundtrack in the first place. So don't be taken by these claims. Money spent elsewhere will make far more of a difference. Don't spend any more than $30 or so on any standard cable. Save your money. Take the kids to Disney World instead. So there we have it. Following these tips will save you a lot of headaches, and you'll get a much better home theater as a result. If you enjoyed this video, why not try out membership to thehometheaterinsider.com, the web's most helpful community of home theater enthusiasts. Visit thehometheaterinsider.com and be kept up to date on all the latest tips, techniques, tests, tweaks, and some other things beginning with T that we can't quite remember. See you there.